Absolutely. Do you mind it being online? Okay.
Under the article, the central government had few strengths and many weaknesses, while the Constitution was written to correct those weaknesses to make a strong central government.
Okay, that was a little bit repetitive. You know what I'm saying? I think the basics of what you're saying are right? Article's weak, central government did some good things, Constitution's strong, tried to right those wrongs, right? If I was critiquing that, I'd probably say that was a little bit wordy and not particularly specific, but serviceable. I think Taylor Payton can do better, but I think that's okay. I think you said the same thing about 3 different times. Well, you said weak a lot, right, and then you said strong a lot. So that's fine. You can do better. It's okay. Other questions? Jordan, questions? Got this? The second essay is always it's very interesting to see how our gains are.
So you said number 3, you would do religious toleration, democratic ideas, and then logistics?
Yeah, just like how the formation type of stuff.
Okay.
These are all, as they say in Spain, excelente. Brenda, questions?
Oh.
I really wish I had this class first block, so I just stressed about this test all day.
It's funny you say that because everyone used to say they loved having it 5th because they could spend all day in their classes studying.
That's what I do.
That's what I
I will stress about this test all day tomorrow.
I have a quiz.
See, I have like 4 tests
Me
tomorrow,
too.
so
tonight, then you really
Oh, tomorrow's going to be a rough day. When you're done, you're done. That's nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it okay if I read the thesis out
Shh,
for
you go ahead.
the second essay?
Second essay.
As American productivity grew substantially over the mid to late 18th century, Americans obtained their own economic identity. Thus, they viewed British taxes and acts of Parliament as great insults that played a huge role in spreading the Revolutionary War.
Okay.
That's it.
That's very good in terms of answering the question. I would say it's like half organized and half like just, this is my opinion on it. That's fine. How are you going to organize your essay? Did you know yet? Because it sounded like the first part of it was organized. The first part of the thesis, I got that. And then the middle part, I got that. And the end was less about organization, more about proving something, right?
It was chronological.
Okay. Sorry. It's well written. Flows well. I like the flow.
I'm confused on how you would do like a good thesis for chronologically.
For number 2.
Yeah, like how I did the better treatment.
You know, a lot of that also, it's a great point to bring up. A lot of these theses will make a lot more sense and flow better depending on what your intro looks like and how you get to your thesis. But you know, something like colonists are becoming increasingly independent economically of Britain as the French-Indian War neared its conclusion. This became more apparent during the Stamp Act Congress, and then later manifested itself in blah, 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 blah.
So you can literally just list out the...
Yeah, I mean, the big ideas that are happening,
Okay.
each one. In history, what I'm trying to do when I teach is, I'm going to go chronologically. If you're really going to see us make the 1800s, we'll go chronologically, sort of, but we'll also go thematically. So I'll look at, okay, let's look at the economics from 1860 to 1800 to 1860. I'll look at politics from 1800 to 1860. So really what you're doing is, you're looking at a big idea themed per one. So that's possible. Good. Other questions? Ray, questions? That organization? No? No good?
I'm just confused on how to write the thesis in general. That's good.
Okay.
It's like a general outline for a good.
Do what?
Well, it's like a general outline for a decent thesis.
Okay, this is what you want to do. 3 things you want to try to do. Number 1, you have to answer the question, right? When I read the thesis, I'm going to wonder, did this answer the question? Because sometimes people write these glorious sentences that answer a different question. So does it answer the question? Is it organized? Does it organize your paper? Does it answer the question? Does it organize your paper? And it's a provable. Right? If it's a provable statement that answers the questions and it provides organized, specific direction, That's what and obviously it has to flow now. It has to be. Those are the three you want to hit. So answer the question: is it provable? Does it organize your paper specifically? And doesn't organize your paper mean give it direction? Then you're good. Those three things. Okay. Never write 20 words when you can write 10. Never write 5 when you can write 2. Okay. Clarity. Now, obviously, during an essay test, because you're in the middle of in the heat of the moment, it's not as easy to write as well. I would expect better writing when you have to write like your first paper you're going to write. I would expect your word choice to flow better because you're going to have time to consider it. You don't always have time to consider it, which is why when people write really, really well under these circumstances, like during the 50 minutes, that's particularly impressive. That means that separates good writers from very good writers.
So, and the provability of the thesis is basically an opinion, but not using words, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's an opinion. It's an opinion that is provable with facts.
Yes.
Now, in science and stuff, science are, mathematic-based sort of subjects. You can use actual factual data to prove a yes or no. Well, in history, aren't all these questions kind of up to your own devices, right? So really what you're using is you're having to rely on evidence and how you analyze that evidence, right?
This is big argument.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm like, does this person have cancer? Well, according to this, blood sample, it does. I'm analyzing the blood sample and say, yes, this is the only conclusion you can draw. But if I say, is this cancer going to be deadly? Then it becomes a whole lot of other things you can do, right? Or even like something a philosopher would say is like, I had cancer when I was in college. My wife has always said cancer was the best thing that ever happened to me. So that is definitely debatable, right? But it's not debatable that I had cancer cells. See what I'm saying? So you're going to have to use analysis, use facts that I did have cancer, what my life was like before, what my life was like after, and that's analysis, right? So this is different. You're a science person too, right? Yeah. So you're having to analyze stuff that's a little bit softer.
That's why I rely more on analysis than normally do evidence. That's why that last essay was.
It was analysis. It was analysis heavy. Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Run my day, Cole. God, after all this analysis, what am I supposed to do with the rest of my day? It was fun. Other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Is it okay that we use the AP US History exam book to get some extra evidence?
Yeah. Knock yourself out.
Yeah. Good idea, Paige.
Do whatever it takes.
Do you recommend?
I just can't support this, so just to get a couple extra.
If at any point do we we somehow manage to relate some other bit of information from like WorldCiv to this, are you going to just criticize it and like?
History is history, man. I'm not like, wait a second, I didn't teach that to you, it must not count. No, if you're bringing in Holmes, whatever you can work, it's about proving, right?
Yeah.
It's about proving your thesis. Just because I didn't teach it to you, doesn't mean it's not real evidence. It's certainly not important evidence. Right? Use whatever you can do.
Do you recommend we get like the AP study books?
Absolutely. In fact, near the end of the year, I'm going to make you. I'm going to physically make you, like hold you down. But it's highly suggested that you get an AP study guide, and we will use it at the end of the year. We do actually is we break down. You can stop it. We actually